Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Martha McCallum, and this is the story. We have major developments in the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie, 84-year-old mom to Savannah Guthrie. She was last seen, Mrs. Guthrie, 11 days ago now. The FBI has been launching an extensive search. We see investigators out on foot in a very large area in the Catalina foothills. And we're going to give you some proximity on how far that is from the Guthrie home in just a moment. But that comes more than 24 hours after the release, stunning release yesterday. This was a huge, huge development in this case of these images that you see on your screen. That's the search area that you're looking at right now. And then let's put up these images that appeared yesterday, which have really broken this open in a huge way. This man walking into Mrs. Guthrie's front porch around the time she is believed to have vanished from that home. Now, the images reportedly leading to a very dramatic uptick, as you would expect. This is why the FBI released them. Lots and lots of new phone calls, new tips as people get a look at the eyes of this individual, the gait, his height, his size, and try to figure out if this is somebody that they know and can help the FBI with. So TMZ founder Harvey Levin had another development. He tells Fox that he received a third note. They have received some of the prior notes with regard to this ransom that may or may not be factual. In this one, someone claimed to know who the kidnapper is. So we're going to get you more information on that. A lot floating around, so we have to be careful as we watch all this come in. But we kick things off right now with our senior correspondent, Alicia Acuna, who is live outside Annie Guthrie, the daughter's home right now, with some new information. Hi, Alicia.
Hi, Martha. And this just happened within the last few minutes here. We saw an unmarked vehicle come up to the front of the home, and we saw what we believe were two agents. They walked inside the house. They weren't in there for more than 10 minutes, I would say, and they came out, the two agents. One was carrying two different bags. One was a brown paper bag, one looked like a white plastic bag. The other agent also had on latex gloves. And then they checked the mailbox right before they left and drove away. Our producer, Alex Rego, was shouting questions at them, just trying to get some clarification of why they are here. They, of course, did not answer in that moment. But a reminder, on Saturday, we also saw quite a bit of activity at this home behind me when you had agents from the FBI and investigators from the Sheriff's Department coming here at 8:30 at night. They went into that house. They were in the garage, and our team saw flashes of light like someone was taking pictures in there, and then also in a whole other different part of the home. They were here for 2.5 hours, also left with a brown paper bag, and they had some sort of folding table with them as well. Keep in mind, this is all happening as the FBI says they are also on foot right now, searching portions of the foothills, which is also where Nancy Guthrie's home is located. It's in the foothills of the Catalina Mountains. They're out there doing a search as well. We've seen them walking the lines of the roads, and we've also seen them in the brush doing a search. So this is a very active investigation, and it continues. Martha?
Good information, Alicia. Thank you very much. Obviously, you'll let us know if we see agents returning to Annie Guthrie's home. We've seen it a couple of times now, and they left, as you say, moments ago with a couple of bags in hand after they came out of that home. With that, we bring in former FBI Special Agent and criminal defense attorney Stuart Kaplan. Stuart, great to have you with us. What's your reaction to this latest information from Alicia Acuna on the scene there?
Well, Martha, let me unpack a lot of things. Number one is the first priority to the FBI is to try to locate and return Nancy Guthrie to her family safe and sound. And I think we can all agree that to some extent the FBI may not be able to control that outcome. Number two is, and there's been a lot of criticism today, it seems that the investigation has stalled, or why is there a lag? Why don't we see as much flurry of activity as we saw yesterday? The FBI, if they're going to apprehend and arrest someone and prosecute that person not only has to be the right person, but they have to get him right. What does that mean? That means this case, absent the person coming in and confessing and turning himself in, it's going to be a circumstantial evidence case. That means that the FBI must cross the T's and dot the I's, because all of this circumstantial evidence is open for challenge in a court of law if and when they apprehend the individuals or the individual that is responsible. So that's why you see this kind of behind the scenes, I think, not as much flurry as activity, but I can tell you that the FBI is working around the clock. Number three, this video, or the pictures that were released yesterday, facial recognition, which has not really been touched upon, relies upon geometrical measurements or geometrical mapping. Notwithstanding this individual is wearing a mask, there are enough geometrical measurements that can be elicited from those pictures in that video that the FBI is using very, very sophisticated technology, which is not known to the public or available to the public, to perhaps be able to narrow those persons of interest to positively identify that individual that was captured on that doorbell camera. So let me just say, and I said it several days ago, technology in this case is at the forefront. The FBI has deployed some very, very sophisticated technology, normally not seen or not visible to the general public. This case is going to crack wide open. Now, with respect to the FBI returning to Annie Guthrie's house, obviously, when you take a look at the statistics of abductions or kidnappings, sometimes, unfortunately, they lead right back to a family member. And look, we don't really want to go down that road because of the people that are involved in this particular case, but there seems to be something that continues to draw them back, and it just may be either to include or to exclude those individuals that reside in that house.
Yeah, while you have been speaking, we've been watching over and over. And this is brand new video just in that we're looking at. Alicia Acuna, our reporter on the scene, told us that Annie Guthrie's house is once again where the FBI is conducting this search. And when you see, we'll show it to you in a second again, these two individuals walking out of the house. They have, here he comes, two individuals in this investigation, a white garbage bag tied at the top, and then like a shopping bag that they put into their vehicle. Then the other agent wraps around. He takes one quick look in the mailbox, and then they get in the car and take this away. So this comes after a couple of nights ago. We saw flashes of light inside that house at Annie Guthrie's. What can you tell us when you look at sort of the demeanor of these actions that we're seeing of these two agents here on this video, Stuart?
Well, clearly, that's the continuation of the collection of evidence. And when you see, for example, the gentleman wearing the blue latex gloves, that obviously is to protect the integrity of whatever was seized or whatever was turned over voluntarily by the family to these agents. That whatever that is going to go back to either Quantico, Virginia, or to a local sheriff's department's laboratory for forensic analysis. But keep in mind, again, that video yesterday was very, very telling with respect to a backpack, sneakers, a holster, a sweatshirt, a mask. And again, technology is being utilized and deployed to narrow down where that article of clothing may have been sold, who had access to it, who purchased it. Again, we're crossing the T's and dotting the I's, and we're narrowing the field of potential subjects, and we're zeroing in almost to the point where it's very close to being able to resolve this case.
Well, I hope you're right. One of the things that I know from speaking with another former FBI agent is just in terms of the digital footprint that they're getting. It takes a little while to get this going, but they will be able, through the cellular analysis survey team, to gather every piece of cell phone, the individuals that they're looking at and talking to, and find out who they were speaking to in this area. It's a fairly sparsely populated area, so it limits, some of the amount of numbers that they have to go through, but it does take time. And then with each day that passes, it feels like they're getting more of that information, Stuart. And that is probably the reason that they come back to certain places as they pursue this, right?
100%. And just so you know, the digital footprint, we call it digital footprint exhaust. And so when you're moving about with your Apple Watch or your iPhone or whatever smartphone, those phones, those devices are pinging off of cell phone towers. And that gives a lot of geographical location information. And so we may be able to capture some cell phone data in or around Nancy's house, cross-reference it by way of example of a place that may have sold that type of article of clothing, a backpack, a pair of sneakers, a holster. Again, we're taking all of this information, all of these data, all of these crumbs, and we're trying to build a puzzle. And I use the analogy of you have a picture of on the box of a puzzle, what it's supposed to look like when you put it all together. We're picking up the pieces of the puzzle and we're slowly and methodically putting it together so that at the end, the outcome is a resolution that can be presented in a court of law to get the person right, the right person right, beyond a reasonable doubt, so that we don't have all of this effort and then we lose the case on a technicality because someone didn't do what they were supposed to do.
Yeah, it's a great point. What's undeniable is that they've been going back to certain places, and Annie Guthrie's home is one of them. It makes sense. It's the last place that they know that Nancy Guthrie was before she went home, according to the story of that evening. So it makes perfect sense that they're going to be going back there as they get more information and more cell phone data, and they're tracking those phones to see the movement of them and where they went over the course of that night. All of this gets put together as a puzzle piece, as you pointed out. Stuart Kaplan, thank you so much. Always good to have you with us, Stuart. Thank you. So Fox team coverage from Arizona, as investigators are, as we have been talking about with Stuart Kaplan, once again spotted leaving with bags from Annie Guthrie's home. That's next.